How you guys doing? Welcome back. Today is March 28th, 2022. Month doing pretty good compared to last month. It's a large bit better. It's been a really good week. Let's see if this week will continue. I love what I see. In this video, I'm going to show you 8 great picks you can watch list today, tomorrow, this week, and play it for the next few weeks. If not, immediately tomorrow with some really good turnout. If you are new to this channel, thank you for joining. My name's Evan, aka John Stonkton. Pulls up three-pointer. aka Chef Boyar Swing, hey, Mambo Italia, aka Bruce Wingstein. It's hard to do those with the microphone right in my face just to get the imaginary ball up. It's like I'm gonna get followed by this stupid thing in my way. Those are all added together perfectly. Obviously, great technical skills. We're gonna be talking about some great stuff today. What you can do as a favor to yourself, that's good English, is you can go check out my class on my YouTube videos. It's there for you. It's in a playlist, 25 free lessons. In there, we're going to discuss some really good things. We're going to talk about risk versus reward and risk management, technical, fundamental, mental analysis. We're going to discuss macro markets. We're going to discuss making trading plan, going to discuss goal setting and consistency. Those 8 things go into every single trade. Now, I call that structure. Strategy changes, whether it's going to be an emphasis on technical, emphasis on fundamental, time frames, position sizing, how long you hold it for. All those things can change, and that's totally fine. So we're talking about those things in this kind of episode. In today's, we have 8 great picks, 5 longs, 3 shorts, I believe, that look really, really good. We're going to focus supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, EMA lines, volume profile, the RSI indicator, stochastic, and the vortex indicator. Those 9 things, plus a healthy dose of love. And my cat, meow, is what makes up my trading strategy. We'll go over each pick, what I see, why I like it, and what you should be looking out for. I don't want to spend too much time chatting. Lastly, buythebulls.com is coming. Prepare. Oh, you better prepare. It's on its way. It should be here next week or the week after. So look out for that. You're going to have some great deals, great specials, some great things coming for you. Then you can get exclusive content there as well. Lastly, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. It means the world to me. If not, my ego's tied to it. I'll cry myself to sleep tonight. For some of you, probably some sick joke you want to see happen. With that being said, 8 great picks. Let's start this off with looking at my cat. Meow, 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 meow. He's here today as always. He's more lively than yesterday. He's having a good time. It's bath time. See that? Oh, yes. Yes, bath time. Yes. So he's happy to be here. We're all happy to be here. Let's get into it. First is CHTR, a very easy broadening wedge. Oh goodness, the first play is already kind of a complicated setup. Why is this? A broadening wedge looks like a megaphone. It's going to look like this. If the pattern looks like that at any angle, any shape, all it means for you as a beginner is a new pattern is going to form soon. So you can see the resistance trend and the supporting trend are not the same. It's getting wider as time goes on. This just tells me a new pattern is going to form soon. This is not going to last forever. I think that pattern is going to form right here. Old resistance becomes a great support, right? And we can see it's making a nice support at $545. Wowee, that's an expensive stock, but you have some really good plays in here nonetheless. It's starting to break this resistance trend in this resistance spot. Very strong support at 545, very strong resistance at 571. Very clear risk versus reward. The trend lines are great. Usually you want to buy into the support one for value, but this is a really nice play nonetheless. You want to see our price, if you want to, wait for some form of confirmation, break above the resistance trend and hold, and this resistance and really give us a sign of life. If we get that, it's a great entry nonetheless. Lastly, what I do like about this play is that our volume profile, our POC, this stands for point of control. This is a strongest volume node. It's also the strongest resistance and support on this time frame. See how it's a great support and then a great resistance. Secondly, it's also very gravitational. Price wants to be here. For whatever reason, folks want to buy and sell at 610. Doesn't matter if it's up here or down here or over here, it wants to be at 610. This will be a detriment to us if we do make a nice move of 7 or 8%. The good news is it wants supposedly 7 or 8%, risking 2 or 3. Overall, CHTR is making a new pattern down here. Great support that's holding. If we get a breakout, I would love to go into it. Let's check our indicators. What's so cool about the indicators is I don't scan with or chart with indicators. Indicators, and my favorite example is like cake. Technical analysis is your cake, sweet baby. The indicators are just going to be the frosting. Delicious, right? So with indicators, it shows us momentum, trend, volume, volatility, these really great things that help us do some awesome stuff. They help us plan a trade and then trade that plan. They help us track macro markets. They will help us be consistent and watch risk management, have goal setting, enter stock, exit stock. all these really great things. But what we need to look out for is that the TA is always more important than indicators. And I'm going to show you live, I've not looked at these before, what the 10, 50, 200 EMA line showing us, the RSI, stochastic, and vortex are showing us. So if you are a newbie, you learned something brand new today. That's awesome. Let's check it out together. So first is our 10 EMA crossovers. That's where we have the price go from below the blue line to above the blue line. And as we can see, when we do that, we have some really nice moves, right? Now we do have some fake outs while you're below the 50 EMA line. That's okay. So a 200 EMA line crossover makes very little sense. It's too far away, right? But a 10 cross already happened today, my boy. If you like that kind of play, go along, use this 10 EMA line as your stop loss. If you want to wait for a 50 crossover, which makes a lot of sense to me with the resistance here, you break over that, then your 10 EMA line or the 50 can be your stop loss and go along either way. So I think a 10 crossover, 50 crossover, both are fine. It's important to know for a beginner, there's two ways to enter a stock: value, momentum. Write that down. A value entry is like, wow, what a good price, which 540 would be for this play. Or a momentum entry, and you go, wow, we went from being downtrending to uptrending. Ah, what a play! And you enter because of that. And so I think CHTR here is much more of a momentum play. The reason is we're crossing already. RSI is not low, it's fair, which makes sense. We're consolidating sideways, right? We move sideways, nothing much happening here, and we're starting to point up. Stochastic was low, pointing up. Bulls are low, bears are high, but bears are starting to lose some strength. If bulls start to curl, that'll be an extra level of convergence with our momentum theory. So CHTR here is a really good play. I want to see it break out before I really go into it. If it does drop like 2% to that great support line, that's a great value entry. Either way, CHTR for a crossover play or a value entry should be watch listed. I do love what I see. Next is CNO, a really nice short here. CNO, it's important to note, I didn't draw this today. It does have consistent higher lows across the board, right? So I think a breakout is also a fine thought. The reason I'm not going with a breakout quite yet is we also have clear lower highs almost across the board as well. So if anything, it's a horizontal wedge, and this could break out. But I think right now, if the markets do come down, this is a very easy short. So it's important to note, if you're going to short CNO, I would definitely check out XLF and the S&P. If those start to go red, you come here to short. If those are both green and running, you can go for the breakout. First thing I see is a great support, $24, right? Anywhere in this area, 24, 23 bucks, holding firm. Very easy resistance at $26. You can see we're going to risk maybe 1 or 2% here at most to see hopefully about 4 or 6. If you can get a big move to $26, we can risk getting 2% to make about 10, 11 for a good move. That's really awesome. There's no real trend lines here. It's a simple horizontal channel play. And what we have again is the POC. If we hit this, it will be a very strong support. You may want to take profit here. But secondly, it's very gravitational. Again, for whatever reason, good zoom in, idiot. For whatever reason, price wants to be here at 23.30. This is where a lot of folks buy and sell consistently. See how many times it's a resistance and taps off it beautifully? And how much time price is like, oh, I'm far away. It comes on, touches it. Price wants to be 23.34. So as far as I can see, very easy short. Gravitationally, if the markets are red tomorrow or this week, if we start to come down, this is the first place I'm looking so far. Really good play. When it comes to our indicators, a 10 cross under works just like that 10 crossover. If tomorrow we see price do this, doop, and cross under the 10 EMA line, that's going to be our first sign of weakness, and you can then short. If you can go back historically, every time we get near this orange line, we cross beneath the 10, it comes down beautifully. Cross beneath the 10 for a sign of weakness, right? Cross beneath the 10, weakness. Beneath the 10, weakness. So waiting for that tomorrow makes a whole lot of sense. RSI is high, stochastic is high, bulls are high. So again, you have two options here. CNO at 26 bucks is a really good value entry for a short. You go, all right, to 26 bucks, I'll risk the 27, let the bad boy come down. That's your value entry. Or you go, I want the 10 EMA line done for. I want price under that 10 EMA line. You wait for that, then you short. What's the equal denominator between those two things? Patience. So you got to make sure you have some form of patience, even a day, even waiting for opening bell. See where it's going, and then make your decision. But overall, CNO, I love it for a short or even a breakout if markets go green. I'd watch list it. I do love what I see. Next is DHC, a different kind of play. It's a horizontal wedge. This is similar to CNO, but we see it much more obvious here. Big moves, big swings, and now very small moves. It's starting to get real tight here. We can see it's a horizontal wedge because of 1, 2, 3 higher lows, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lower highs. What's really coming together here, the support's obvious at 275, resistance at 315. It's starting to make a nice move here. Again, our POC, for whatever reason, price wants to be at 413, right? Until this shifts down or shifts up, this is where the gravitational forces are going to be. And again, if you want to see 413, we're talking almost an easy 40%. That's fantastic. It may become a resistance, but I'll take 40% nonetheless. Really good lower highs, higher lows right in the spot. What we're going to look for in our indicators, I'm not going to do it until I do it with you. If our 10, 50, and 200 EMA lines are in the middle of this triangle, it further shows we have major consolidation. Almost all your big moves up and down come after consolidation. So that's why wedges work out. They kind of go sideways, and once you go sideways, eventually bulls win or bears win, and a big move happens. So let's turn them on together. If they're in the middle of the triangle, we're right. What would you look at that? That's your resistance trend. That's your support and trend. All three are directly in the middle of this triangle, and all three are going what? Sideways. So this is definitely a wedge play. It's a breakout play. You'll love to see it. You learned something new today, didn't you? Isn't that nice? What we can also see is that a 200 crossover is really good for a crossover play. Let's say tomorrow, and this is going to take some patience again. Tomorrow we get a green board like this, not going to go long. A green board like this, I guess you could go long. But you want to see this. Boom, see you later, nerd. Over that play, you then have the 200 as a stop loss, or the 50, the 10, or a previous price action. If you want to go over with a value entry, you may lose the 10 and the 50, and beneath there, a 10 cross works fine, just a bit lower. Our side's fair. It makes sense. We're consolidating. The stochastic's a bit high. Again, that makes sense. We're topping out here. Bulls are low, bears are high. Again, what does DHC show us? You need to have some patience in this market and have a plan. DHC, a bit higher, breakout, go long. You can then mitigate risk and have a bunch of reward. Lower, you have really low risk and massive amounts of reward, but you kind of have to hope it reverses. Either way, value entries, momentum entries are both fine, a bit lower or just a bit higher. Show some patience. Axe Rose would be so proud of you. DHC, I'd watch list it. I do love what I see. Next is KNBE, a very easy short, in my opinion. Again, it could be a breakout, but I lean short given the fact that we have what here? Lower lows and lower highs. Guess what, y'all? Just like me, I'm your friend, but what's a bigger friend in stock trading? The trend. And if the trend is down, I tend to go down unless there's consolidation. There's no consolidation here. The moves are still wildly large, and we can see a traditional resistance and a resistance trend line here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid hits. This resistance is very clear as well. Our support towards 2044 also very clear. You can short and risk 4 or 5% to make hopefully around 10 to 15 pretty easily. The POC is gravitational. What else is it? A very strong support. While we're over it, it's going to support us. While we're below it, it's going to be a very nice resistance. So you may want to wait for us to lose that. See how over here, it didn't want to lose the POC, but as soon as we did, what happened? Resistance, resistance, resistance. So you may want to wait for us to drop 1 or 2% to really confirm we have way more convergence of resistance on our side. Overall, a very nice resistance. If this does break out, easy go long. But right here for me, it seems like a very easy short nonetheless. When it comes to our indicators, a 10 cross under again is absolutely goated for this time frame. Oh, lose the 10, first sign of weakness, crashes down. Hits resistance again, loses the 10, comes down. Hits it again, loses the 10, comes down. You want to wait for that tomorrow? You put all that together, you lose the 10, you have the POC above you, resistance trend and traditional resistance. Shorting makes a whole lot of sense. RSI, it's high. Stochastic is high and starting to curl down, showing no life here at all. Bulls are high, coming down. Bears are low, coming up. KNBE, if the markets are really, really red tomorrow, is the first place I'd look, and then CNO. Overall, it's a very easy short. Again, if the markets are green, there's no reason being here, right? It may come down, but again, trend is your friend. If macro markets are green, find your green stocks with bullish setups and then go long. If they're red, you find your shorts and go short. Not very hard. KNBE, I'd watch listed. I do love what I see. Again, an intermission for our cat. He is officially calmed down. He's having himself a morning, freaking out, having a good time. Now he's just a sleepy little boy. Oh, the baby, having a good time. Next is LADR, another easy short in my opinion. Again, the markets are green. Take what I said out the window and go long. But this is a very easy short in my opinion. Same exact idea as CNO, but we don't really have the macro higher lows across the board here. I think once we kind of came down this far, we lost them. Again, you come over here and really try and finagle something and be like, well, actually from here, blah, blah, blah. I don't see it. The reason being recently, lower low, lower low, lower low. We have a lot of lower lows here. And to me, real estate seems to be kind of cooling off just a bit here, and I think this is a really nice short. Again, you can risk 1, maybe 2% at most to hopefully make about 10 to 15. If you risk like 1% here, try to make 14. It's almost 10 to 1 kind of odds. Again, very clear resistance at 1225, very clear support at 1070 or so. The POC is gravitational. Again, see how much action bounces off of it. There's a chance you may only come down 5 or 6%. It may not want to get greedy at that point because you may be bouncing there. But overall, for a horizontal channel, if tomorrow is a red day, a very easy play. If it's green, you may break out and have yourself a really good runner here. When it comes to our indicators, once again, not going to beat a dead horse. Once you lose the 10 EMA line with the actual candle, let's see, you're like, well, we lost it over here. No, you didn't. No, that's a wick. That doesn't count, sweet baby. You got to get a whole candle. You know, whole candle beneath it, usually a red one. You get a red boy, imagine just being red like this, and that holds. That's what you want. You don't want to have no wicking nonsense, right? At 10 cross under is great. RSI, it's high. Stochastic, it's high. There's no divergences. It all checks out. It's just coming down lovely with so much room to come down. Vortex is high. Bears coming up. Bulls losing some strength here. Easy play. If tomorrow's red, LADR is a very easy short, in my opinion. If it does break down further, even better. But overall, an overbought play. I do love what I see. I would definitely watch listed. Next is NMRK. This is not ready yet. I think this one needs a small bit more off, 4 or 5% to really be a great value entry. But here's what I see, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I see an ascending triangle forming. I see a nice folks who bought in at 11, sold at around 18. Then they bought in probably somewhere near 14, said sell at 18. They're buying in again. We can see clearly bulls are pushing the price higher. Bears have no strength. You could also just argue it's a really nice uptrend, right? You could just be like, oh, it's a nice uptrend. Sure. Either way, it's a very nice move here. Very clear support towards $15. Clear resistance at $16.50. I want it a little bit lower in this trend line. This trend line's been super consistent for a long period of time. I want to take advantage of that. I'm sure there's going to be an EMA crossover we can talk about, but overall, it's a very nice bullish setup. It does lack a very strong and very noticeable pattern, which is okay, and our POC does want to pull us lower. But right, what's different about this one is that the POC will shift as volume shifts, and we can see this area is what's holding us down. As time goes on in the next 1, 2, 3 months, what's going to happen is that this is going to be the new chart, and this will no longer be the POC. It's going to shift up to here or shift up to here. So I'm not as concerned about the POC being down here, given the fact that the price action has been moving away steadily from it, and that should be just fine. And it will shift up eventually, which is a sign of strength. When it comes to our indicators, again, I want 15, but a 10 crossover has really good plays nonetheless. We have that here. You want to enter now and risk maybe 2% off this candle and go long. That's fine as well. RSI, it's fair. It makes sense. We're seeing some life. Stochastic, it's low. I'm sure there's some form of divergence somewhere in here. I don't see it. It all looks fine to me. Negative 17, but the blue just crossed the red. Again, showing momentum here. And then bulls are low, bears are high. But see how the bears are coming down and bulls are coming up? That's also momentum. I think NMRK here is a good momentum entry. Give me one more green candle that's not too big. It should be a fantastic play. Of course, value, which I really like, is about 5% lower. I wouldn't hold your breath for that if tomorrow's green. Even if it's red, I wouldn't hold your breath for that. This seems like a really good crossover play. NMRK, I'd watch this. I do love what I see. Next is SGH. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. It's the same exact play as NMRK, where you have really nice higher lows, but you don't really have an overall pattern. Like, you probably come in here and find something. Maybe there's a resistance trend in here like that. That's now kind of consolidating here. There's a bunch of things you could probably find. All I see is consistent higher lows, a very clear support near 20 or 25, somewhere in here. Very clear resistance at 28.65, and our POC is going to be resistance until we get over it. Right? See how great of a support it is? That's going to be a resistance. That could be your go signal. Cross over 2650, go long, with that being your stop loss. Overall, a very easy uptrend. I don't see an overall pattern. I do want it a bit lower. Just like NMRK, give me 4 or 5% off, I'd be extra happy. But right here, let's check for our indicators when it comes to our crossover plays. So if tomorrow is a green day, you get a nice play like this, and you get over the 10, over the 50, and the POC, that's a great sign of life. Look at over the 50. You get over the 50, what happens? Nice moves. Over the 10, what happens? Nice moves, right? So the worst case scenario here will probably be breaking even if tomorrow's green and you manage risk properly, right? You get a nice move here, you hold, you can then kind of day trade this or swing trade this just fine. When it comes to the rest of our indicators, we could see again crossovers here. RSI, it's fair. It makes sense. We're moving sideways. Nothing too bananas here. Stochastic, again, is making a small bullish divergence. It's fine. It's nothing crazy. But if that blue line does cross the red line, that'll confirm the move, making a small bullish divergence. Bulls are low, bears are high. It's the same play as NMRK, but our POC here is an extra layer of support if we get over it. I think it's a great play to watch. It's not really my cup of tea, given the risk here is probably closer to 4 to 7%. I don't risk that much that often, so I'm kind of turned off by that. But the play overall is very good looking. SGH, I watch this. I do love what I see. Our last cat cam of the day for a zoom in. He's just having a good time. Again, he forces his way in here. He'll scratch the door. He'll scream if he's not here. So again, he's happy to be here. Oh, Scratchies, I'll help you. Oh, it's a baby. Oh. Good job. Good job. You're more popular than I am. That's okay. Last is SRCE, a gorgeous ascending triangle. If you're new here, I am so biased towards these. It's bananas, honestly. These are my favorite plays. Again, you can see, oh geez, nothing. You could see bulls buying in and pushing price. Bulls buying in and pushing price. Bulls buying in. You can see all this bullish momentum. Boom, boom, boom. Waves coming in. Oh, like Trivium here. This is great. I think that if this were to hit 47, I would definitely go long myself. I want to get to the trend line. It's been so consistent, but there's going to be times it reverses right before it makes big moves here. This is a really good looking play. The reason being support, as we can see, it's at 47.20. The POC is a great support. Resistance is clear. Higher lows across the board. You're risking here probably close to 4 or 5%. You have to get a swing low up for this, or probably close to 3%. To make about 6, a good move is about 9, 3 to 1. I want it lower for that to make sense, but the pattern here makes me biased because I just love ascending triangles. If it does break out, it's going to be an absolute mayhem. It's going to be a fantastic play. Looks great. Indicator-wise, a 10 cross is fine. A 50 cross is fine. I wouldn't wait for that myself. I don't think that's like the greatest thing of all time, because let's see, wait for all these right here. Well, let's just say, you know, your profit then is 3 or 4%. I've called 7 plays a day where the profit's far more than that, and your risk would be about 3 or 4%. So I wouldn't wait for a crossover here. It's just too far away. RSI, it's fair. Stochastic, it's low. That's good. Bulls are low, bears are high. It just looks like a great value entry, a bit lower. And of course, you could play the crossover you want to, but for me, risk versus reward is my foundation. If it crosses those areas, I don't see clear risk versus reward. I see a 1-to-1 ratio. And to me, in this kind of market, that's a no-go. Overall, though, SRCE, I love what I see. I would definitely watch list it. Thank you so much for being here, for watching the episode. It means a lot to me as I fix my camera. Doop, right about there. Awesome stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow for another watch list. And of course, make sure you wait for buythebulls.com. It's coming. It's going to be special. So we'll see you guys later. I'm sure no one saw it because no one watches the whole entire thing. That's okay. We'll see you guys later.